everyone to our first edition of Anahata Swimwear Lady Crushes. We're really excited about this series. Initially we wanted to just do maybe an interview online, but then it was like, wait a minute, why don't we get these ladies on film? Because I feel like that's such a much more intimate and personal interview to watch, to learn about the incredible women that we're going to be talking with. And this series is very much focused on and highlighting women who have Anahata values of empowering others, of maintaining self-care, remaining joyous, and living boldly. So I'm going to do my best to talk clearly. And on our first episode, thanks for your patience. And today I want to introduce Miss Samantha Dudley. She goes by Sam. Should I call you Sam?
That's great.
Okay. She is the founder of Compass Bracelets. And Sam was kind enough to be one of our donators for our pop-up party in March. So she gave us a couple of bracelets to give away to folks, and we were super overjoyed. So we love Sam, we love her business, what she's all about, and we're really, really excited to interview her today.
Awesome, thanks for having me. Super pumped to be here. Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm pumped and thanks. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the bracelets. It was also super cool to see the stories starting to pop up on our website from that.
Yeah?
So that was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did it okay, wait a minute, I guess we should tell everyone what they are.
Yeah, we'll get into it, but basically, there's some stories that go along with the bracelets, and from Anahata's pop-up party, we got to see some of the cool interactions from the people that either won the bracelets or you guys did a silent auction kind of thing.
Silent auction.
Yeah.
So, Compass Bracelets. Share with everyone what Compass Bracelets is all about, since of course they don't know much.
Yeah, sure. So we're a new company. We've only been around, I would say, about 7-8 months. We launched last Thanksgiving, and Compass Bracelets is a shareable, trackable bracelet that starts a chain of love. So we'll get into, I guess, a little more detail on what all that means. But basically, it's kind of like an online collaborative journal that helps to spread love and kindness throughout the world. So yeah.
So someone purchases a Compass bracelet, and then what do they do from there?
Yeah, so once you buy a bracelet or you receive a bracelet as a gift, this is the actual bracelet if you want to see it. So it's got a unique tag number on it here that you'll see. And that tag number is unique to the bracelet. So when you get your bracelet, you go to our website and you register it using the number that's on the bracelet, and it puts a pin on a map, like a world map of where you are. And then from there you get to start the story and the journey of your bracelet, which is the coolest part. And that can be whatever you want it to be. It's different for everyone. And so once you start that, the point is to pass it along and share it whenever the opportunity presents itself. And we kind of tell people, you'll know when the time is right. Maybe you just connect with someone when you're traveling, or you see someone doing a good deed, or someone does something nice for you. Whatever that reason may be, you pass your bracelet along, and the website's printed on the back, so they go to that website. And then they get to continue this chain of love and the story and the journey of this bracelet, and this awesome history begins to form and continues from person to person and wrist to wrist. And you can always go back to track and check and read these amazing inspiring stories of where your bracelet's traveled and the lives it's touched, and so that's kind of the basis of it.
And a couple of these stories popped up or came from the pop-up party.
Right.
They've started showing.
Yeah, they've started their journey from the Anahata pop-up party, which is super cool.
That's just so cool.
Yeah.
So in terms of, I know it's only about 7 or 8 months old, but are you seeing any kind of averages in terms of when people are giving off their bracelet, a couple of months, or Yeah,
it's really been different, for everyone. There's some bracelets that we've been oh my gosh, I think these are done, maybe no one, and then we'll be so surprised, and there'll be things that we just recently got one from our first pop-up market that we did. It was a bluegrass one in Raleigh, and we just got one, and that was 6 months ago.
Oh wow.
But you know, for different people, they want to hold on to it. Some people really like love having them on their wrist, and it's hard for them to give away. But to us, that's awesome, because then when they do give it away, it's going to be super meaningful, and that just creates a stronger history and story behind the bracelet. So it's, you know, we're leaving it up to them. I mean, of course, we'd love to see them like passed on quick, and we love all the different stories, but you know, it means something different to everybody. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we want it to kind of happen organically.
So first of all, I love that like this is a, you know, kind of like a journey of love that like different people are passing along. Anything to do with love we love it.
Yeah.
But where did you come up with this idea? Like, where did that originate?
That's always like a really funny one for me, because I'm constantly thinking of like crazy inventions, and I drive my family nuts, I'm sure. Sure, I drive my family and husband crazy. He hasn't been around quite as long as they have, so they don't really know, but he's learned pretty quickly how it is. But it's one of those, I was working in a job that, you know, I didn't hate, but I also wasn't doing anything that I really genuinely loved and like felt good about. And so I was constantly searching for that thing that I could have that would allow me to give back and to leave the world a better place. And that's always been like a goal of mine, is to be able to do that. Yeah. And so when I came up with this idea, again, I like call my family and my dad all the time and tell them these crazy ideas, and this one was just so different. They immediately like latched on and were like, Sam, this is it. And like I almost remember like my dad almost like cried on the phone. He's like, Sam, I'm telling you, this is the one. Like, this is of all the crazy ideas I've had, like this is it. And he's like, this is just such a beautiful thing, and like I love that you thought of it, you know. So to me, that was just like the moment I knew that I like needed to you know, move forward with it. So that's kind of how it came about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'll like get teary talking about
Yeah.
business ideas with your family.
Yeah, I know.
I'll get teary.
It's the best though, when you have, you know, people that are good, they're great like to listen, but they're also great critics. And there's been a lot of ideas that I'm sure you've been the same, you throw them out there, and it's great to have somebody that can be like, okay, slow down, you know, like, have you thought about this yet? And then you're like, all right. Let's
So Anna, how are you going to pay your bills? I mean, who does that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, one of the things that I love about Compass Bracelets that obviously share in common with Anahata is that you give a percentage of your proceeds back to nonprofits who are just, you know, like, how do you, I know that you're different in that you choose a different nonprofit every like 3 months, is it?
Yeah, right now we've been doing every 4 months, we've chosen a different nonprofit. And you know, that's probably going to evolve as we grow, but I think the thing that will never change is the fact that we give back. That is something that we are going to like stay true to. It's a big part of who we are and the reason that we started our company. And we chose to give 50%, and that's one of the things my family was like, whoa, wait, like you can't do that, that's like way too much. But for me, if I can be successful, I don't think that that's too much, and I think that that's how I'm going to make a big impact and change the world and, you know, make it a better place, is doing that. And, you know, if I'm happy and doing what I love and I have enough to get by, then I'm okay with that. You know, I think to me that's more important, and that's where I'm going to get the most happiness and fulfillment out of. So it's a big part of us. Yeah.
50% is a lot too.
Yeah, and I mean, like we do choose a new one every 4 months. We're looking at other like charities to give to, so it's cool. There's just so many different causes that we want to be a part of.
I know you had one. I know that was working with veterans in horses, or what? Share a couple of the nonprofits that you worked with.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, our first one was Our Heroes out of Bolivia, North Carolina, Horseplay Farms, and they do equine-assisted therapy for you know, women and children that have been abused. Also, like, you know, veterans of war, which is super cool. And I went out and met with them, and one of the things that I thought was really cool is that they just, the girl that works out there, Allie, she really helped me understand how it works, because they are also rescuing these horses. And so these horses have been through like these similar things that these people have been through, and they have like this connection and understanding of each other, and they're able to like connect that, you know, and help, you know, I guess I'm really bad at explaining this, but like, you know what I mean? Like the people understand what the horses have been through. The horses can like have this like, it's almost like the sixth sense type of thing that
they've both been hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that pain.
And the patience that they understand it takes to like, you know, learn and like heal and grow from these things. So it's pretty cool. That was probably my favorite one. But I'm like a horse freak, so that was an easy choice for me. But the current one we're working with is equally as awesome. They do birthday parties for homeless children who have never had an opportunity to like have a birthday, which I also thought was super cool. You know, there's a lot of kids out there that just don't get that, and I couldn't imagine that, because my parents, I've always been so fortunate that you know, they've always made a big deal, and you know, we had so much fun, and that was such a big part of our life as a kid, is like looking forward to that birthday. And I'm like, wait, like kids don't get that, you know. And that was, so that's what we're really excited to be able to donate to them as well. And this is actually our last month of donating to them, and then we'll move on to a new charity, which we still haven't chosen yet.
Well, let's kind of like redirect and talk about you personally for a little bit. So it's obvious that, you know, philanthropy and love and those sorts of things are really important to you. Like, what other value systems are, you know, very influential in your life and certainly in your work, and just kind of how you interact with the world, I guess?
Yeah. I would say probably compassion and positivity are a huge, like super important to me, and probably the two things that I value the most. I think, you know, loving other people and having like a genuine sense of love for people in general, and kind of, you know, that unbiased, unjudgmental mindset, and just having also a positive mindset is kind of how we're going to make a difference in the world, and how we plan on doing that with our bracelets. You know, that's the basis of our company, and without those two things, I don't think that we could get there. So those are definitely the two things I think that we value the most.
This is why she's an Anahata woman. So your wife, and you own a business, your sister. I know that you're very busy, you're very active as well, you're always doing activities, and how is it that you like stay centered in the midst of all of that and practice self-love?
Well, I think self-love for me is a huge part of, you know, being comfortable in your own skin no matter what, and you go through ups and downs, and you know, you're not always the perfect like person that you want to be, and just I think keeping conscious of that, like exercise is a big part for me, and eating healthy. But aside from that, which I think everyone kind of strives to do, you know, we all want to eat healthier, and we all want to like exercise more, and it's so good to like do that as much as you possibly can, because I think that definitely brings me peace of mind. I feel better.
Sanity.
Yeah, like I need that part in my life. But I think in addition to that, you know, like growing up as a kid, I was always kind of taught to like say my prayers before I went to bed. And as an adult, that's definitely like an evolved and changed for me. And now I think it's more like when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do, like when I'm laying in bed, is just be thankful that I have another day on the earth, and like realize that, you know, you never know when it might be your last, and like just to live the way that you know, like imagine yourself that you know, want to be, the person that you want to be, and like how short that can be. You know, like I was just telling you, my dad had an incident, and you just, you know, you don't know. I mean, fortunately, everyone's happy and healthy and it's going to be okay, but like, I think to me, my happiest self is reminding myself every morning, you know, getting up and just saying, I'm alive, I'm thankful, and like I'm here, and I have a happy and healthy family, and I have the opportunity today to go and do something and be someone great. And so that's kind of like, I guess, how I practice self-love.
Thankfulness is so important. I feel like I always know when I'm slipping into my lower, less friendly myself when I
Yeah.
stop being thankful. That's like, my father told me that once, and he would say, like, you're always kind of getting further away from God when you stop being thankful. And that's like, it was the thing, it was just like, within myself, if I get caught up with life or stressed or whatever maybe, and I get disconnected from that, I realize I'm not thankful.
Yeah.
But when I'm really staying true to, and taking care of myself and taking care of the things around me, it's all comes back to thankfulness. I'm really aware of like everything I have.
Yeah, and as an entrepreneur, it's one of those things that there's so many days where you're like, oh, nothing's going my way, and like, why is this happening? And then you're like, oh my God, I also have the opportunity to experience these things. And like, how lucky am I that I even get to know what it feels like to have like a downfall in business? Because there's so many people that like never even get that opportunity. So yeah, just like that thankful part of it, I think is a huge part of self-love. And like, if I can be thankful and grateful for like what I have and who I am, then I'm a much happier person, and I feel better about myself.
I feel like we could end it right
But it's
there.
a struggle. But it's a struggle, Like you.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm not
definitely
good
a
at it by
struggle.
any means. It's just something that I try to be conscious of.
Well, I think, living one day at a time is a huge part of that. Just, at least for myself, trying to keep things in perspective in terms of like not going down that road until I'm down that road. Just taking it one day at a time. Because I feel like even in the longer I'm an entrepreneur, the more solace and the more cheer I can find, and even like the downtimes or the challenges, just because like I know I'm going to emerge with a lesson, with more wisdom. Maybe I'll be stronger, or whatever the case may be. Like there's always something that.
And that's
Yes,
what's
to be
cool
thankful
about
about.
us like being connected is you get to see other people going through those things, and watching you grow a business. That's inspiring to me to see you go through things, and then I can we can like collaborate on that, and it makes me feel good because I'm like, okay, we've all been down there, and like when you need that pump up from somebody else, they're always there. And so again, I appreciate that because I feel like you're one of those people. So thanks.
Community is everything.
Yeah.
So with Compass Bracelets, like, what do you think is the most important thing for you to achieve with Compass Bracelets? Like, do you have a definition of success in relation to Compass Bracelets, or are you still just growing this beautiful dream?
Part of it is that for sure. I think if I had to say like how I would measure that would be, we want to be recognized as a global influencer and leader in spreading love and kindness throughout the world. That is my ultimate goal. Is when people think of like love and kindness, they think of Compass Bracelet and this awesome company that has just transformed the way that we think and the way that we feel. So that's my goal.
You gotta put that up on the wall and look at it every day. So in terms of, both you and I own businesses. We also have friends and family, women who don't own businesses. But how would you advise other women to make a difference in their life? And what advice would you have for them to empower others, regardless of, whether they're entrepreneurs, or moms at home, or whatever.
I think I would probably say, and like you said, whether you're an entrepreneur or a mom or, just somebody that has a dream or a passion, I think just taking one tiny step forward. For me, that was a huge part of it. And fear is can inhibit you from doing a lot of things, and I think that it's almost like that snowball effect. If you can just take a tiny step forward, you will be so surprised at how things start moving. And you just build confidence and like motivation off of that one little move forward. Those tiny little steps, and if you set those goals small, and you start to, once you accomplish one, you're like, okay, what's my next one? I mean, for me, that's how I see it, and especially for this business, you know, I've started other businesses, and I've had a lot more confidence in other businesses because I have the background in it, whereas this one, not so much. So until I took that first step, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I took, you know, from the time I told you that I talked to my dad, and, you know, he was like, yes, yes. It was almost 3 years before I actually got the ball rolling because of those things. And so that is my advice, is just take one small step forward, and you'll be surprised where, you know, you might find yourself in a couple months.
Joyce Meyer, I love, she says, step out to find out. Like, you have to step out to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I firmly believe that, like, creating that, like, action is the only thing that changes anything. Action is the only thing that begins anything. You know,
Yeah.
like puts it into motion.
Yeah.
So once you start that momentum.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like this huge leap. You know, I think a lot of people see starting a business or doing something as like this big step, and it just has to be a little one. I mean, that's all it takes to just get that like you said, that momentum and that ball rolling. So, you know, if you're scared, just take a small step, and you know, you'll have to probably take a bigger one later, but, you know, just that one small one in the beginning is a good start.
It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I know we've both
Yeah.
taken some huge steps.
Yeah.
But those usually come a little bit further down the road, which is nice.
And you get used to them after a while.
Yeah. They're a little bit less like,
less impact. You learn to fall.
Okay, well what I'd like to do is wrap up today with sharing a lady crush of your own. So mentor, family member, whomever, yeah.
So that's a tough one.
I know,
because there are so many people.
Awesome women.
Yeah. And I think hopefully this answer is like, okay, but you know, I think that there's been really two, and one is a woman and one is a group of women. Jenna Curry with Port City Young Professionals, it's how I met you. She does so much for the community and bringing people together, women and men, and just, you know, awesome people that are out there and they're, you know, young and they're trying to make it in the world and figure out, you know, where they belong. And I've met so many, you know, I just moved back to Wilmington. I lived here a while ago, but I was in a much different, you know, time in my life. And so moving back, I knew I wanted to make some changes and do things differently. And I think, you know, joining the Port City Young Professionals was huge. I met so many awesome people. And also the group that I was mentioning was Women in Tech. And that's another just awesome group of like super inspirational go-getter women that are just always down to like help and motivate you. And you know, there's a lot of ladies involved in that, so I won't name everybody, but that's the two I think that have had the most influence on me.